Okay.
So here we are on session 36 of the Sphere Power Campaign. How bizarre. And we are starting off with the party discussing what they're going to do now that they've found a local base of operations.
Yeah, we should have jars of platinum from the
Yeah,
top
that's
of the
what we've
pyramid.
been spending.
Okay.
Yeah, that got divided up already and spent.
Okay.
So
Just double checking.
at the last session. So yep, so everybody should have their part of the division of it. And I did for me the most affordable or thing that seemed like it would work pretty well was the Ring of Spell Storing, which lets me store, I believe, up to 5 levels worth of spells.
Yep.
Like 5 first level spells or 1 third level spell, and something else.
Right.
And so I got that is what I ended up spending my money on. So, and the bracers of defense would be awesome. They were just out of my reach as far as money goes. And I do
know
have
what.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just going to say I know what I wanted,
listening.
but I
I'm
going
gonna
to
go fill up my coffee. I'm gonna go fill up my coffee, but I'm still listening. I can hear on my earphones.
I remember what I wanted. I just can't remember. I think I might have left early and let you guys do some shopping because that was when I was pouring my floor, right?
Yes, Keith said there's only 1 pair, but you talking about seeing if you get them converted into monocles or something, did you say?
Yeah.
So at least you can see out of one eye.
Yep.
But yeah, if we get Jim, obviously bracing defense, I think that will, if he needs to get into combat, he got the ability then with his blade song and then with cloak of protection with the braces as well. He should have more than enough AC to be braver.
Yeah, I'm down with that. What was the cost?
Oh, we'll have to ask Keith. I can't remember. I should have written it down, but me being me, I forgot. I think he said.
I was hoping you guys would remember.
I remember you saying 2,000 gold, but that my brain goes, is that really right? Is that really right?
For bracers of defense, right? We're talking about bracers, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, sorry, I was distracted a second. What's the question? Where are we at?
Talking about bracers.
Oh, the price of the bracers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I answer you guys slowly, I'm just constantly grabbing things to nibble on.
I seem to remember them overcharging you guys because of low persuasion rolls and charisma in the party.
You're gonna laugh when you come into the shop. You're gonna see Miss Rum walking around weird.
Okay.
He now got some boots on his paws, so he's doing that weird catwalk.
You're trying to shake it off.
Hey, that's awesome. We get the bracers of the defense. Then I can use that fancy sword that I've been carrying around, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
The one that says "End of All" on it or something.
Yep.
Why do I get the feeling?
Don't I become like a rage elemental when I do that or something?
Yeah.
Rage
You do.
That's my term for it, anyways.
I haven't played any of that side of things the last couple of sessions. I should have been ahead of the game with that.
So no one is online with a high charisma. This definitely presents an issue.
That's right. Our high charisma people are missing.
Even your second highest charisma at 10 is not online. That's bad. That's very, very bad. These people don't want to sell, aren't inclined to give you deals.
I know my charisma is -2.
I think mine's really bad too.
See, my Stu said I'm always in animal form. So basically, why do I need to interact with people on a chatty
But
level?
even if you're trying to intimidate them, you come across as a bit of a klutz for a cat. So you're like, a cat.
Has anybody
And
watched,
the boots just add to it too, you know?
has
You
anybody
are an
watched
uncharming cat.
anybody watched the latest campaign of Critical Role?
No.
No.
They just started.
have.
They just started. They're like on session 4 now. They just completed. I'm most of the way through it. I love it because the new characters, they have a wide variety in their stats, and none of them are super overpowered. Like they've had some in the last seasons where it's just like, yeah, how can you miss? How can you not succeed on what you're doing? And on this latest one, Marisha's character is a sorceress slash not a wizard. She's like a sorcerer slash something else, and she has a strength of 5. So, you know, it's just, and even their bard has like a charisma of 16, and that's it. You know, so it's just kind of fun that they're struggling along with these characters at level 3. It's pretty cool.
It's funny you say her strength is 5 because that is my charisma. It just seriously have a
Yeah.
-3.
Yeah, mine's a -2.
Yeah.
I'm 7. I'm not much better than you are. So
Now you see,
So I-
Miz, inside chat, the Discord chat, that's an example of a charismatic cat. 2 of them, as a matter of fact.
Ah,
Hello, kitties.
those cats aren't really held back by those bars, are they? It looks like the opening is bigger than. Oh, I see. You're really close to the bars.
Yeah, it's just perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, I tried to get it to it so I could get their full face in between the bars instead of the bars going through their face. But yeah,
very nice.
those are 2 new rescues that we managed to get this. I don't know if you guys remember or if I said anything, but 2 weeks ago I was kind of distraught over our
Yeah.
dog had killed a mommy cat outside.
Yeah.
And it took me until this past Wednesday to finally rescue those 2 from underneath the trailer that they had taken refuge under. And I'm surprised they survived because they can't be more than about 6 to 7 weeks right now, which means they were only about 5 weeks old when they lost their mom. So we finally got them pulled
That's
out.
rough.
Yep. So we at least rescued 2 of them. But yeah, those are charming kitties.
Gotta get smokes. Got giraffes. More raisin toothpicks.
Okay. So,
All right. So enough kitty distraction. All right. So based on that and my notes, I'm seeming to think that the bracers of defense were running more closer to 6,000 gold, not 2,000.
no. If that what you say, I honestly can't remember, unfortunately. So I take your word for it.
There was definitely a reason I went for the ring of spell storing instead of them. That's for sure. And make no mistake, I'm very happy to have the ring too. That's going to be awesome. Having a fireball I can toss at any point, or in this case 2 shields that I've got ready to fling up at a moment's notice. That's awfully handy.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Because my AC with the +1 cloak is 14 naturally, so that automatically can bring me to 19 in a jiffy. So that's pretty slick.
And what's the casting time on that? Is that a reaction?
Yep, shield is a reaction.
Oh, so even in the ring of spell storing, it's still a casting time of the spell itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It
I
just
thought
holds
the
them.
charge is loaded up that you could just release it on anything on a reaction. That definitely makes it a
I'll
little
read
less
through it,
powerful,
actually.
but they're still nice nonetheless.
Holy smoly, we're about to hit -15 this week.
So
Oh,
What is that in Fahrenheit?
Uh,
oh,
For those of us in the backwards half of the world.
that's probably going to be in the teens.
cold.
That's probably going to be in the teens,
Hey, Google.
single digits maybe.
Can't start when another app is using the microphone. Okay. It's a race now.
that 5 for you guys.
It's 5
5?
degrees.
5 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I said about single digits.
Yeah, that's cold.
Oh, yeah. That is cold.
That's cold.
Such a complicated conversion between them. I mean, it's easy to think about how to change kilometers to miles or liters to gallons, but Fahrenheit to Celsius and back and forth just is not intuitive. Makes you really,
Yeah.
Oh,
really makes
hey,
you wonder
Keith.
what they were smoking when they came up with the Fahrenheit scale.
Keith, while we're near the markets, can I buy the ingredients to resummon my familiar?
What are the ingredients again?
10 gold pieces worth of charcoal, incense, and herbs.
Oh yeah, that should definitely be available here. Especially
Okay, I will
generic versions of all of them.
I will spend 40 gold to give me 4 more summons.
Okay, and heck, for as far as charcoal goes, you could make that yourself by burning wood.
That's true.
Hold on a second, I
Very
gotta
good.
let out an animal.
Awesome. That makes me happy.
I
There,
just
need
have
to
adjust-
know-
I've adjusted my gold. So
I have some platinum I'd be willing to use to fund the bracers of defense. Just keep in mind that the bracers of defense only function if you're not wearing armor.
I have
I believe-
I have the cloak of protection, which I don't know if that counts as armor. It doesn't say it does.
It does not.
I was gonna say,
Mage, it does. I believe it stacks with mage armor, but it does not stack with something like leather armor.
Okay.
that is my understanding as well.
So with basic defense and your mage armor, and then your dexterity, and then plus with cloak protection, and then with your blade song, you should be pretty tanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mage armor puts you at 13 plus dex, plus the 2 from the bracers of defense, and the 1 from the cloak of protection.
My dex is +3, so mage armor would put me at 16. Plus 1 from the cloak is 17. So plus if I had the
Plus 2 from
bracers
the
of defense.
bracers.
Yeah, so that would put me at 19 to start with, which is nice. And then shield would put me at 24.
Yeah.
But and even without the bracers of defense, I could still be at 22. So that's
Insane for a mage.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only at 16 because I prioritized a magical weapon over magical armor.
You realize that's going to really jack up your aggro rating, right?
yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Well,
But I'm tired of being useless against creatures immune to mundane damage. I am tired of it.
Look, it's a mage in a can. Squish.
Well, how I see it is, if our tanks fail us, at least we can still pick up the wizard and use it as effective shield.
There you go.
I poke you with my mage. Ha ha. What? Oh shit!
Yes, that's exactly it.
I will know how much I give Jim once we settle on the eyewear of dark vision.
Yeah, I've only got 386 gold and like 20 platinum after buying, or 24 platinum. I've got I've got 83 platinum and 346 gold is all I've got left. So if the thing is like 6,000, I don't know that we'd have enough to actually
Yeah.
get it anyways.
Well, what
So-
is it? 10 platinum or 10 gold per platinum?
Yeah,
And we've divided everything up correctly, right?
Yeah, he divvied it up last at the beginning of the session last time.
Okay, because I'm showing that I have 773 platinum.
yep.
So that would
Yeah,
be
my ring of spell
7,000.
storing was expensive. I don't remember what it cost, but it was pretty expensive.
So that would be 7,000 plus. So
Yeah,
can-
but some of us have already bought a lot of stuff.
My ring of spell storing, I don't remember what it was, but the cost ranges between 500 and 5,000. So,
Yeah,
and with my low charisma, I was probably paying on the higher end of that. So,
Yeah. The,
Based
the
Based on what
shopkeeper
I'm
didn't like our
seeing here-
smile.
Based on what I'm seeing here, Redreth spent about 90% of his platinum. Kaylee spent about 70% of hers. Jake only spent about 15%, 10%. And Mizram spent about 70%.
and I'm if the bracers are not doable right now, still I can get my AC to 22 without, so.
According to the party sheet, there is 2,900 platinum available across all of you.
yeah,
So you do still have funds to spend. If certain party members are feeling generous. Unfortunately,
correct.
I think Varric is feeling really generous.
yeah,
So-
unfortunately, both the two with the most amount of gold are both missing again this week.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah.
I think Varric's feeling really generous, don't you?
Let's.
Without them around, Haig is definitely the richest member of the party at the moment.
Well, technically speaking, he is a paladin, and they are generous and like to give to the poor.
I will pretend to be poor if it'll help.
As
With my high charisma, I'm
Yeah,
sure I can
roll that
charm him.
deception roll there, Paladin.
There we go. Okay, yeah, I got to do that. There we go. Oh, hey, that's actually not bad. That's
I want to see. I don't need deception. I want to see persuasion.
oh, there you go. Okay,
I don't need
That-
to do this.
that's not any better. That's more. There you go. That's more
Ooh.
accurate, right there.
Well, Haig is not feeling very persuaded because he's kind of an asshole.
It seems like
Um,
Redrith couldn't persuade me to eat a lobster dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Haig is supposed to be down there too, but I was running both characters. So let me see if I can get his tail. Why is everything not working? So yeah,
Gremlin.
Haig pretty much scoffed in your face and was like, yeah, you're not getting anything of mine. Go ahead for Varric.
Oh, roll it again. Persuasion. All right.
Yeah. All right, that will do.
that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Don't know if it's enough, but it's not bad.
It's surprisingly good considering.
Can
Yeah.
you release can you release Varric to me?
You want to?
All right.
You want to spend
yeah,
his
I wanna-
platinum, huh?
We're gonna see playing it out. We're gonna see if Varric, if he persuaded Varric, if Varric can come back and persuade me.
Or can Varric has the good charisma. Can he go in and talk to the guy and bring the price down?
That's quite possible too. So let's
What
let's
are you
play
gonna
this
say
out.
to him? What are you gonna say to the guy?
So Varric will go inside and he'll suggest to the shopkeeper that we are here to bring peace. Well, you know, his whole spiel about us being part of the prophecy, that we have brought, we have fulfilled much of the prophecy. We brought water back to the back from the pyramid, this and that, and blah blah blah, to try to get him
The
to
wizard's already
help us.
almost died once.
Yeah, to kind not give him a sob story, but saying it would be beneficial to help us. It would be beneficial for him to help us with some of the items we need. So let's see what we do here. Let's see. My computer's
Roll
running slow.
high, man. Roll high.
I'm trying.
All right,
I'm
did
gonna
you-
try.
Do you have access to him now?
I do.
If you click the speech bubble
Yeah.
up by your token, then you'll switch to rolling that character.
Everything is slow at the moment. We'll see who rolls. Let's see.
Oh, your
This is me talking to
computer
the
is
shopkeeper.
lagging.
Yeah, see, it's making me nervous because it says that my dice is still orange, and that's Haig's color. So anyway, we'll see in the tower. Talking to the shopkeeper.
How persuasive was it, Keith?
Comparing. So what exactly is he persuading? Is this counter to Redreth's efforts?
This is me trying to entice the shopkeeper to bring the price down of the gloves.
Varric, right?
Varric, yeah. Discussing with the shopkeeper about bringing the price down based on the fact that we are the prophecy, whatever. We brought water back. We did this, and you know, it would really help us out.
Well, it is definitely a good roll. Question is whether or not.
Whether or not it's good enough.
It's a tie.
It's a tie.
Hmm.
So how do I handle that? Not favorably to anyone in a situation where it's already favorably leaning towards the merchant. So,
I think Redreth should come in and debate him, right?
Well, I'm thinking the merchant
Add the
is
weight
kinda
of his
skeptical
charismatic
about,
might.
You guys, you're the prophecy ones. Okay, yeah, You tell a good story. Go on. You know, I want to hear more. But
What do we have for proof, guys?
I mean, you could also.
Without
I take
without showing them the
out-
stars. Without showing them the
I-
stars.
Oh yeah,
I take-
sure. Oh, you've got one of those, but you're bartering me down for coin.
I have Amon Ray. I have Amon Ray's staff of rulership. I can pull that out. How about that?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That still looks like a pretty pricey piece of treasure, you know.
You know, I have that. So
you know, it's like you guys
That's
saw
no
the mummy,
slouch.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
You
know
know
that,
what,
the staff of Osiris that her brother's always carrying around and just kind of like treats it like a status symbol or something like that. But everyone's like, "Oh, what's that?"
You guys forgot one important thing about merchants.
What's that?
They like their name to be spread around the world, so more people can buy their stuff. We could have said we'll do free advertisement for them.
Yeah. How? What?
We
Say
could-
you?
add them to our Twitch stream.
I'll be happy to refer to it as Akeem's bracers of defense. No problem.
There you go. Exactly. The only risk with bringing out the staff is that as a merchant, he might want to acquire it, and that might create other problems for us. I don't know if that would really happen or not, but
None of my windows are closing. I don't understand.
I could make a suggestion here, and I guess it's appropriate given that we're missing that character at the moment. But keep in mind, Varric did keep Munafik's skull.
Ah,
That's true. Hey,
Oh.
Dan, if you're having trouble closing windows, sometimes you have to restart because the click where Fantasy Grounds thinks you should click is actually like down and to the right of where your cursor actually is, or down and to the left or something. A
okay.
friend of mine had some other problems
It was
with
Jer.
Fantasy Ground. Was it Jer?
Yeah, it was at our session. He goes, "This is not working right."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did actually restart. Yeah, I closed the program and restarted.
Yeah, Windows 10 has been acting weird ever since they released Windows 11.
I haven't upgraded. The option keeps popping up, and I'm like,
Well, you know, there's always that conspiracy theory that, oh yeah, they're going to force us to upgrade by breaking Windows 10.
Right.
It's not that. It's just that, just like with Apple, I never want to do a .0 of anything.
Yep.
So I'm going to let them do get a number of patches in first, and then we can upgrade.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. I'm just getting around to installing Windows 2019 server at my organization. We wait like 2 years minimum.
You said down and to the right. All right, never mind.
Well,
It's working
sometimes
okay right
sometimes the clicking it's like down to the right or down to the left or something if the window doesn't close properly. But if you restart it, it should be back to where it's supposed to
now. Yeah,
be.
All
we
right.
shall see. You have to
Here's my
re-release
issue, guys.
Varric too.
Here's my issue, guys. Game wise, role wise, you should be able to persuade the vendor to A, to sell it to you, and B, at least sell it to you for cost as opposed to marked up. But I'm a little uncomfortable about spending Varric's money without Matt here.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that's
that's the thing is like, so this is part of the Varric isn't. I agree with you, but I might be
I'm
able
gonna
to cover
say
it.
we're gonna put it in the ether for now, and if Varric is okay with it, we'll allow you to take possession of it wherever you guys
Well,
are.
that's what I'm.
and
That's
it's
what I'm saying,
perfectly
Keith. I
fine
could-
if he's not. That's perfectly.
I
You
could
even
fully
text
cover
him.
it.
You
I
could
could
even
fully
text him.
Yeah, I can fully cover the cost, but I need to know what the cost of the dark vision goggles are too.
Ah, yes, that was another. Those I think.
And I mean,
Oh,
I'm willing to throw in the platinum that I have.
I think there were only 2 of the dark vision goggles, and both of them got bought.
I thought you had said there was one, and that the brothers would have to share,
Right.
or
That's what.
one of them would have them and one wouldn't.
Yeah, but it didn't someone else buy one?
No, and I mentioned that I could split the one, and we could have dark vision monocles.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
That's
By the way,
awesome.
you have already bought them. They're in the party sheet already, ready
Yep.
for you put on your character sheet.
So yeah, they weren't that expensive, but you already bought what was available.
How much was it?
I think it was 750.
Gold pieces? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm good there. Did you adjust inventory purse at all?
Yeah.
I thought Keith said he already took the money from your character sheet when he
Yes.
bought them that day.
Yep.
Anything I put into inventory, I did take from. I did take the money for.
Cool. Well, then, so we're good there. So
And I think
still
Alex
have-
had mentioned something about a mod. I meant to look. Was it Alex? Was it you? A shop mod? So that
No, I did. It was that Bane's Emporium.
Bane's Emporium. BANE.
It's BAY. Here, I'll find it and send a link to you.
EAYNE.
Or actually, I think I put it in the chat previously.
Okay.
There's that one, and then there's I think Nat from Team Tui also has a shops one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's play this out a little bit. I got another little bit of an idea, but okay. So was he able to talk the price down, or what's the cost or the bottom line?
For the bracers of defense,
Correct.
5,000.
5,000. Okay. Can you re-give Varric to me?
We give.
Yeah, like what I don't remember the word is.
Oh.
Release. when
I thought you said you did get it already.
I reset my game.
Gotcha. Okay, hold on. There we are. I did it.
That's it. So let's see. So Varric is gonna talk to Haig. See how he does. Because he's his brother, he's gonna give
Hey,
him a little.
gang, I'm sorry, I got
extra.
an animal issue. Give me about 5 or 10 minutes.
All right.
Go.
Look at that. Did you see?
Oh,
Did you see
That's
what the
a
two
nice
rolls
one.
were?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Wow.
Did you see what the rolls were?
I didn't see. All I saw was the final roll. It looks like you
It
dropped
dropped-
a 7.
Was it a
It's a
7 or
20
a
and a
1?
7.
Oh, dropped
7.
7. Okay. I thought I dropped a crit, or I thought it took the crit and dropped the crit fail. I was like, that is nuts. All right. Anyway. So yeah. So easily persuaded. Haig's like, yeah, I'll give him the money. Even though I'm kind of stingy because it's coming from my brother. But I'm going to ask Redrith. My brother wants that sword.
As a player, I'm like, yeah, have it. But that creates an awesome dynamic.
Right.
I got to figure out how the. I think.
Let's put it this. Let me put it to
I
you
think
this way.
it'd be
As
cool.
I see you thinking, I say, put it this way. All you have to do is set the sword on the table. You don't have to give it to him. Set the sword on the table, and we'll race for who's faster to snatch it. That's all you have to do. And I figure we'll roll a 20 and see who rolls higher or something with a dex save or whatever. Did I close his Galdern thing again?
You should be able to find it in the character sheet again. Just go to characters.
I tried. It's not there.
Gremlins.
Just quick question: who did Jim give his sun sword to in the end? So he could
I
keep
have
the
the
other
sun sword.
Ah,
Yeah,
Hank
I have
has
the
it.
sun sword.
I just thinking about, because I don't know the that Enduval sword still is not identified to me, so I don't know the exact nature of the curse. So I
Right.
might need to know that so I can play it properly. But I, at a top level, if it's one that I'm not supposed to be, not consciously thinking about, but also not wanting to give up, I could see
reluctant to give
him
it up, right.
saying, I could see him saying, yeah, sure, you can have the sword. That sounds fine. And then turn around and walk away with the sword still on his hip, kind of a thing, just,
Right, yeah.
just even though he keeps saying, yeah, sure, this is fine. Here you go, and then put it on
I
the
think
table.
the way
And
we've been playing it is it's more like the ring. Anybody asks you about it, you get pissed.
yeah.
That's how you've been playing it.
Ugh.
Well,
but now that there's something that he wants, that might
Ooh.
change a little bit. So he's like, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that sounds good. But then keep just not taking his hand off of it. Just not, I don't know. I guess I'd still have to read the exact words of what the curse is so that I could know how actually he should be playing. Because if it's literally he will not put it off his person, then there's no way he'd be able to lay it on the table. But if the curse doesn't specifically say that, then yeah, he could lay it on the table thinking he still owns it, and then it could become a problem. Or something.
It is.
It just depends how the curse is worded.
I would.
Is it in your inventory? Can you open up the
It's
description?
not identified.
Oh, it's unidentified.
It just says it. Let's see. In my inventory, it says, where is it? Here's the ring. Yeah, it just says Endeval. It says Endeval is inscribed on its blade by the hilt, and that's it. So that's all I got.
Let's see.
I would laugh if the long-term curse for the blade, the longer you hold it, the more you start dressing and looking like someone from the like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
There you go. Get that lipstick, eyeliner,
Yeah.
eyeshadow would be awesome. I draw the
Okay,
line at
so-
singing though.
I think we're gonna have to ask Keith because the description
Yep.
in Forgotten Realms fandom does not describe it. So I think he might have some insight. So do we want to take a break too and
Sure,
grab something to eat or drink?
that sounds good.
And just come back when he's back. So like 5 after.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'd like to play this out. This could be fun.
Yeah, that sounds good. This is as good a time as any to bring it to a head.
Right?
That's cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
And
5
Dan,
after.
Dan, make sure that Ian looks at the DM I sent him in Discord
Okay.
about his character. Just like you and I chatted about your character for our game.
Yes.
I want to make sure that he's thinking about that for his character too, because I'd like to start personalizing that stuff a little bit more. So
Ian.
you're not muted.
Yeah, I just flipped my mic up.
Oh, okay.
Right, while we're waiting for Keith, I'm going to use this opportunity to grab another hot drink.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm back, folks. Sorry about that. Animals are very demanding.
Okay.
We have a question about end of all. We have to settle with you. So we kind of said 5 after if you were going to be gone for a little bit.
Okay. All right, so I can wait a few minutes if you guys were waiting for me.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see if I can find and devolve. There you are.
Where we're at, Keith. So Varric went to persuade Haig, and I gave Varric advantage on the persuasion roll, and he rolled a natural 20. So it's an easy persuade. Okay, yeah, I'll give him the money. Fine. So Haig went to Redreth and said, I have the money for you, but my brother wants that sword. You don't have to give it to him. All you got to do is set it on the table, and we'll roll to see who gets it quicker.
And so the
So-
question is, can you make the sword identified so I can actually see what the wording of the curse is so that I can know how Redreth is supposed to react? Because that's the thing. I wasn't sure how he would react to that. Because he has up until now, Alex pointed out that he's been, getting angry or frustrated or whatever when people ask him about it. But in this case, there's something he wants. So he may be kind of like, what's his name with the ring in Lord of the Rings, when he's put it on the table, but then turned away and still had it in his hand. And, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then, having it all kind of come to a head.
All right, I can't share the full details because there's still stuff in there that you don't know. But I will read the last part, which I think still will kind of prohibit this. But I'm open to argument. But this is what the text says. Only a remove curse or wish spell will allow the PC who picks up Enduval to rid himself of this device. So I think you're going to need something a little more potent than a contractual agreement.
I liked Dan's argument though. Oh, and I put a link in the chat to that Fantasy Grounds Forge item, which was the shop. Anyways, I like Dan's argument that you're not actually giving the sword up, that we're just gonna set it on the table, and the argument could even be, let me just take a look at it and see what it is or whatever. And I think it's more to bring to a head that there's something going on. And also, I've still got to be under some kind of effect of that Librum, that black book that I picked up previously
Mm-hmm.
and opened. Where was it that I would be able to get something like that dealt with? I don't remember what the... For a scholar, my wizard really has been getting himself in a lot of trouble.
This is true.
Yeah, you just going through your wizard emo phase.
And at the same time, wasn't Indiana Jones a scholar himself?
That's true. That is true. More of a kinetic scholar.
Yeah. That's a good point too. I think we talked about some sort of restoration might be possible to get my intelligence point back.
Yeah.
So with it not actually, he would not willingly give it up. To me, that screams of a lot like the Lord of the Rings kind of thing when they were trying to get him to give up the ring. But it would be more like Gollum having the ring than when what's his
Bilbo
name,
had
the
it?
Hobbit. Yeah, that it would be more like Gollum having it and really saying anything that you want to hear and then not actually giving it up. You know, like it's a level beyond conscious at this point. I'm pretty sure with the curse that he is just like, oh yeah, sure, this sounds good, and yeah, you will do the bracers and yeah, then the sword and everything, but then he just actually
put it down.
cannot make himself
Or he'll
give
suddenly
the.
convince himself that no, it's mine. Why should you have it? I fought for it.
And I even deeper than that, in that he doesn't even realize at a conscious level that he is still holding on to it.
Yep.
You know, his
It's right there
mind
in
is telling.
It's right there
Yeah,
on the
his mind.
mantle. No, it's in my pocket.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the table, and then he'll turn around and walk away with it, and just, you know, that, set it down, you know, relax the hand like you're letting go, and then do a quick turn away and pull the sword right with him. And I can see that just going,
Okay.
you know, a couple times, and him every time thinking he has left it on the table and he's happy. All right, perfect. All right, give me
Until
that
somebody
bracer.
points out, no, it's still in your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, by the way,
So all that happens, as we pointed out, the brothers are like, Redrith.
No,
And
it's right there. I'll put this on the table. See, there you go. You can have it. And then he'll turn away with it in his hand again.
brothers kind of look at each other kind of funny and go, and just another weirdness. And I'll say, aren't you going to take the platinum?
The platinum. Oh, like you put the platinum on the table?
I haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
Don't you want the platinum?
Well, yeah, absolutely. If this will, for the bracers, that'd be so useful.
All right. So just more lip service to the weird thing about the sword.
I'll hold up
I don't
the
know if we have said.
sword.
I don't know
I'll
if
hold
we
up.
have said to you, Keith, but Matt and I have talked about the weirdness, or Varric and Haig have talked about the weirdness of the sword and his reluctance and stuff before. So we are already kind of noticing there's weird stuff, and that's kind of why Haig said you don't have to give it to him, just give him a chance to take it. So that's
and
the whole issue
I
behind
think
that.
I think Jim's depiction of how he would respond is probably right on the money.
Cool.
He would act reasonable, but yeah, in the end, it would be an unconscious thing that he's not going to drop it. He's not going to let it go. And if you try to take it from him, it probably will trigger him.
Okay.
You'd have to take him by surprise, because
And even then, he'd probably still fight like a berserker to get it back.
Just don't let him draw the sword.
I still don't even know what that would mean if he drew it.
We
other than
saw
it
a
would be
glimpse
bad.
of it. We saw a glimpse of it. Whoever draws the sword goes into a berserker rage and kills everything in sight, ally or not.
So you're saying that's a bad thing?
Yes.
Only sometimes. I'm trying to put, you might have the party sheet locked, Keith. I'm trying to put the 500 in the party sheet so Jim can take it.
Locked.
You can't transfer coins in the party sheet. It doesn't work.
Ah,
Gotcha.
that's why.
You can do items, but not coins. It's kind of sad.
Boo.
Okay. You can see I have adjusted. No, you got to close it.
And the
open it again.
goggles of night are in the party sheet for you to take too, Dan.
Cool. It is not updating in the party sheet that I went down 500. Weird.
No, the section of the party sheet that shows what the characters currently have is not dynamic. That one has to be reloaded.
There is a way to do that. There we go. Okay, it's updated or refreshed.
If there is a blacksmith of sorts, I am going to see if he can, or somebody who can work on these, if he can adjust them to the monocles of night. Man, I'm taking 2 big hits, splitting my goggles and losing 500 platinum.
So
Man.
is the
Brotherly love.
so with the brothers knowing that something's going on with the sword, Redrith having no conscious knowledge that there is something going on with the sword, and it sounds like it's either the wish spell or remove curse. Nobody in our party has either one of those, right?
And those are first edition first edition spells that they're
I was
referring
going to
to.
say something. I think we talked about how it
Or-
would correlate to
Or didn't
5e.
Feckish have something like that?
Yeah, we decided when he can get 5th level spells, he'll have an equivalent that'll work. But he's got to get be able to cast a 5th level spell. Yes, there was
And
a
he's only at
blacksmith.
like 3rd level or something.
Hold on.
Oh, and that ironic.
Wow, for as a wizard, for me to get a 5th level spell, I've got to be level 9
Yep,
to get a 5th level spell.
that's how it works.
Just to let you know, remove curse is a 3rd level spell.
In 5e.
Yes, and this is where you're gonna laugh. A wizard can use it, but unfortunately, you're not gonna want to remove curse on yourself because of the sword. And cleric can use it, and a paladin can use it.
A cleric, eldritch knight, paladin, warlock, wizard, or arcane trickster.
Yeah, so technically, our cleric would just need a pray the following day when he wakes up, and he should get it. But obviously, he needs to know about your condition first before he can think of that.
Well, they definitely know something is off with the magic. So
Plus, he only just met you, so he probably thinks you're weird anyway.
who?
I've known him for quite a while, and I think he's weird.
Well, yeah. Well, but isn't Varric a paladin?
Varric is, but he doesn't have. I don't think a paladin can't wake up and pray, right? Isn't he kind of locked into his spells?
No, paladins can Paladins are prepared casters, not learned casters.
Copy that.
So there's an option. That's a possible way if he thinks that it might be a curse. Redrith is obviously not cognizant of what's going on, so probably between Haig and Varric, they would have to talk it over and decide that something like that is happening.
And is that going to be an issue with getting a hold of it to remove the curse from it?
It says affecting one creature or object. All curses affecting one creature or object. So all you have to do is come up and put your hand on his shoulder, kind of a thing.
But is the curse is the curse linked to you or linked to the sword? And are you going to allow me to put my hand on the sword if that's the case? Could play out funny.
It could be done either way.
It's well, here's the way remove curse says. If the object is a cursed magic item, its curse remains, but the spell breaks its owner's attunement to the object, so it can be removed or discarded. So all you have to do is practically come up and it says at your touch. So all you have to do is come up and put your hand on his shoulder or in some way in passing, just brush against it, and you could do that, you know.
Now, keep in mind also, this is a special cursed object that did not require attunement.
Correct. In which case, I would recommend upcasting it to be safe.
So Keith, you might have missed the
And
part
it
where
still may or may not work.
Ms.
may have
had
missed
looked
what?
up that Ms. looked up that remove curse is a level 3 spell in 5e.
In 5e.
Yeah, but it depends on how you want to role play the cursor, Keith. I mean, all we know, you could say you need to go on a special quest to remove it. So down to you, I guess.
I think we talked about it because I think he said in the past that remove curse was a higher level spell in the older editions.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That sound right?
Yep.
Okay.
Because remove curse is no at 5th level, or sorry, at 3rd level spell, remove curse is nowhere near the same potency as wish. And that seems really off.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, we agreed that at 5th level spells, that cleric divine characters would be able to have access to a spell that would work. I forget exactly which one that was. But yes, unfortunately, I'm a little against, based on what I know of the sword, I'm a little against the idea of allowing you guys to be able to do so at this level without great expense.
Okay, so I think ball is in your court, Jim. You have platinum.
I've probably given away too much information about it.
Well, all I know is I'm not touching anything else because my character's already screwed himself twice. So
You also grabbed that book, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
So now my character is going to be very gun shy about touching anything. So yeah, I mean, because there's no way to remove any of these negative things. There's nothing. So
not at the moment anyway. Not necessarily permanent, but not remedies not are not to your avail.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the desert. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So all right, well, then he's simply not going to he will probably just reject the platinum, I guess, because he's not going to meet the other half of the
Let's step back a moment and meta this for a moment without me giving away too much information. In order to cast a sufficient level spell, what do you need?
A high level spellcaster.
What kind?
What
Divine,
kind of-
And how high of a level? Very high or just higher than you guys are now?
higher than us.
And why do you think that wouldn't be available at least in this location of the desert?
Good question.
There's a lot of people here. You're just looking at
Ask around.
right now, the map that or the compound that you guys are in, the Sand Voyagers compound, is a very small part of the oasis. Now,
Yeah,
admittedly, it's the second
we
largest
haven't-
structure, but
Yeah, we haven't even revealed the entire map of the oasis. So I mean that pool presumably would be, kind of center-ish of the oasis, and we haven't seen anything on the far side.
okay, now if you go
Okay.
to
And so we just need to ask around.
So as players, we know we can kind of sense that this is a pretty big city, and we're
it's not
kind
a
of,
city,
like you said,
it's a establishment. I mean, there's a lot going on around this oasis, most definitely.
but our gut would say that we could probably have access to a lot of stuff we need.
For
Not
the-
everything, but the chances of finding a divine caster who can find it or who can cast the spell
It's not impossible.
is, yeah. We just need to ask around.
I want the high level cleric who's going to heal my brain bleed. So
Well,
anyway,
and
again,
Redrith
Jim,
doesn't think he needs anything, so he would not be actively looking for this.
my headache still throbs. So I'm gonna go up to the shopkeeper, hand him the platinum to pay for the bracers, and throw him at Redruth and say, "Quit being a weenus." I almost taking
Sounds
offense
good.
to the fact that he won't take the platinum, because I already told him no. My brother talked to me. It's become a hassle, and now I'm just irritated with the whole thing. So I'm just gonna grab him and say, "Shut up." Throw him at him.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to direct your attention to the campaign play channel in Discord. Sorry, but this is the best map that I have at the moment. So as you look at this map, right now you are on the right side or eastern side of the compound in that circular area. That's the desert igloo. Actually looks like a desert igloo. Now, area number 7, just west of you, is the temple or the ruins of the temple where you guys found the inscription that that was translated.
Hmm.
You want to repeat that translation, Alex, or you want me to?
You can.
I, Martek, have laid up for you a great power and treasure for when you return to wrestle with the awakened evil. No man knows the time, but the place is set, not at White Palm, yet neither far from it. So that's in the area marked number 7 on that map. To the north of it and to the east of it, you see several tents, both large circular ones and stall-like tents that are a bazaar. And this includes lots of services, including a tent dedicated to scrolls, books, and tomes, a hut for leather and tents, a stall for dried meats, another stall for fresh meats, a hut for grains, a hut for rugs, a stall for cloth, a tent for a blacksmith, a fortune teller's hut, a hut with a whole selection of tapestries, a stall with a selection of statues available for sale, another stall with an assortment of trinkets, and finally a stall with fruit, nuts, and dates available.
I believe what you said was jerky, and Varric is like, "Oh hell yes."
Dried
goes
meats,
to-
yes.
He goes to the jerky station.
Okay, so that's going to be in the location the marked C on the north side by number 3.
Okay.
So yeah, C is the dried meats and D is the fresh meats. Right behind you in G is the cloth tent. To the left of you, an A is should get the wizard's attention. That's the scrolls, books, and tomes. And then
Varric is specifically looking for giant spider legs that he did in the desert, or was it scorpion? It was spider, right?
Spiders.
Yeah.
I think we did. I think they were spiders. No, the ones in the desert were scorpions.
I just remember he ripped a leg off and took a bite of one. I can't remember if it was a spider or a scorpion. I think
Scorpion.
it was a spider. Oh, okay, scorpion. Then he's looking for scorpion.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. You're right. No, it was giant spiders. My mistake.
Okay. He has a hankering for those now. They were delicious.
Hey, oh, good Lord, cat. Fuck. Cat chaos never fails.
Of course.
All right, so I'm gonna have to look around and see if there are spider legs available. I don't think it's that much of a rarity, especially here. They are all over the place. Someone would have an interest in them. For some reason, though, I seem to think you're more likely to find it from someone who's selling magical ingredients rather than necessarily a barbecue.
There you go.
So let's see what do we got here. Oh, what do you know? The dried meat vendor actually does have dried spider legs.
Nice.
He seems to think that you're not part of the area, so as soon as you seem to show an interest in them, he seems anxious to show you how to enjoy one of them, and basically goes through the process of cracking one open that's not unlike what we would consider eating a lobster.
Cool.
You have to crack open the legs, and then you get to the meat inside. It's not
Well,
as
that would be
succulent
right?
and
Or
sweet
spider
as
does.
lobster. Yeah, it's not as succulent and sweet as lobster meat, but yeah, he finds it enjoyable. I'd say it's probably a lot like a good piece of soft jerky. In terms of texture, I'm not going to comment on the taste. I can't picture spider tasting that good, but there are people who eat crickets and roaches, and I have had chocolate covered ants, so they're supposedly high in protein.
Sweet.
So
Well, he's
definitely.
gonna spend 10 gold on dried meats and spider legs.
Okay. And then on the
So
southern-
Redrith would definitely go and check out the scrolls and tomes and stuff like that. He can
Gotcha.
always add spells to his spell book.
All right, we'll get to that in a second.
No problem.
Because I'm looking at the stall or the tent that says H. That's the blacksmith tent, and the brothers wanted to get the goggles revised, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to want to charge you. $45 gold.
Sorry, who was that aimed at? Redrith or me?
The blacksmith?
Yeah, which one was?
Well, yeah, it wasn't specifically at either one of you, since neither one of you are trying to barter with him at the moment. But he says, "Yeah, sure, I can do that for 45 gold."
Sorry, I was texting Maddie. So what is he doing for 45 gold?
Splitting up the goggles into monocles.
Perfect. I just gave him the rundown. I said we're currently in the oasis of the White Palm. I was able to purchase goggles of dark vision, which I'm having tailored into monocles of dark vision for us. You also now have a hankering for spider legs. So when we came to a hut selling dried meats, you ran in to find some. And he just made a laughing, squinty face laughing emoji. He says, I love it.
And now you'll each be walking around with British monocles of dark vision.
Perfect.
I like this plan.
Refined Goliaths. I love it.
Perfect.
What's a Goliath without some culture?
That's right. Now we just have to get one of those little thin mustaches.
A
top
top
hat.
hat. Don't forget a top hat and cane too while you're at it.
Yep.
There we go.
What's the guy's name? Mr. Moneybags from Monopoly?
That's
Mhm.
right.
The big bushy mustache. Yeah, okay. Goliaths now have to get grow mustaches, big white burly ones.
Okay, we're good. I'm ready to run. Haig is going
Oh,
to be
wait,
paying
hold on.
attention
I'm-
for a
Hold on,
temple cleric.
I'm taking care of Jim's request to see what is available in the spell or the scrolls, books, and tomes tent.
Gotcha.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe.
Miz, maybe I can look around for a little pretty kitty bow for you to raise your decks. That's her, that's the worst
Are
cat on the
you
street.
just trying to put the finishing touches to me due to I'm still walking around with these boots on my feet? Really weird.
That's right. What were the
Mhm.
boots that you got? Did you say?
Elvin Kim, mate.
Were they the boots of sharpened claws?
Yeah, boots of Elvin Kind, yeah.
Elvenkind. There you go.
By the way, I walk up to Hay with a pouch in my mouth, and I just stop pointing at your leg and look at you with my big cat eye.
A little pouch, huh? A little rub down. Thanks, kitty. I'll grab the, grab the
So
pouch.
if you take the pouch off me, you will find 183 platinum coin for you.
Oh, what a guy.
So yeah, just add 183 platinum coin back to your inventory.
Appreciate it.
Basically, I'm putting in a list of the scrolls or spells that are available.
Okay.
Speak with the dead.
And I have a 9-year-old
Ooh.
practicing trumpet in the basement, so you'll
Nice.
get to enjoy that music too.
Fun.
I haven't heard that.
Jim, I believe I have. Is it on me or is it in the party sheet? One of these games had a ring of swimming. I thought it was this game.
I don't think so.
Ah, darn it. Must be the other game.
Although if we did find a ring of swimming in the desert, it would probably be dirt cheap.
Very true.
Who needs to swim in the desert?
But could you imagine the combination of a ring and swimming with a scroll of control water?
Ooh.
Well, are we all forgetting about the kitty taking a very poor bath earlier on in the campaign?
The possibilities are fairly endless as I think of them.
Now, and I brought a bunch of paper and whatnot with me, so it's possible for me to run a check and inscribe some of these into my spell book as I get them from, if I can purchase them. I'm just looking at the various spells to see what.
The only phrase coming to mind is easy come, easy go. Burning a hole in our pocket.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Ooh, there's a good couple. So what's that mean, Jim? You'd be able to duplicate these scrolls on your paper?
Typically,
Depending
if
on
I
level.
understand, yeah,
Depending on
depending on the
level.
level.
If it's low enough level, you can transcribe them. If it's too high a level, you can only cast them once or hold on to them until you can transcribe them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like that reincarnate, that's a level 5 spell, so I would have to basically hang on to it until I gained like another 3 or 4 levels.
Totally
Keep in
worth
mind,
it though.
it's reincarnate, not resurrection.
Right.
Mm.
You come back as someone else.
Yes, if I remember correctly, I think my druid gets that when I get up to that level. Or I could just make you all come back a cat.
Yeah,
I mean,
and with
Yeah.
reincarnate, it says the reincarnated creature recalls its former life and experiences. It retains the capabilities, but it ends up with a new body, new race, new everything. So
The hell?
and that locate creature only works on creatures that are familiar to me. So like I could find a creature. Does that work on people?
Mizram.
That's true.
I told you to come take a look. To deal with it.
I mean, Keith, would you let me resurrect everyone to come back as cats?
It's entirely possible.
Sunbeam is a level 6 spell. So that could be cast once from the scroll, but if I wanted to actually add it to my book, then it would.
Hey, that is the list of what he has available.
Okay. Yeah, if I wanted to add it to my book, I'd have to hang on to it until I was an 11th level wizard. So that's the.
I think you can add it to your book if you pass a roll, a caster level check, basically. But if you fail, the scroll is still destroyed.
Right. Okay.
What level is the control water spell?
Control water.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. That is level 4. So I can't do it yet, but I could do it. I would need to be next. Basically, when I became a 7th level wizard, then that would be a spell I could cast. I might be able to add it to my book if I pass a thing.
Yeah, I'm going to place a hard limit on that. If you can't cast the spell, there's no way you can transcribe it.
Okay.
That includes both level and across disciplines.
I'm not too far away from leveling up, so that might be something worth. The control water might be something worth doing. Let's see. Speak with the Dead is level 3, so I could do that.
And be glad I also don't still do the old edition rule where you only had a certain chance of learning a spell, even if you had it.
Yeah. That would be very painful.
What do you mean I only have a 60% chance of learning a 9th level spell? And it disappears if I don't? Wait a minute.
Scroll of Awaken is a level 5, so that one is a ways off being able to do anything other than do the one cast with it. Some of these I've not even heard of. I didn't know they were even spell options. Dominate Beast looks like it almost gives you a familiar.
how large of a beast too.
Oh, here's another one you guys probably will be
A
interested in.
beast that you can see within range. It says it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for the duration. And the duration is up to 1 minute.
We were playing Strahd, and there was I don't remember what creature it was, but we succeeded in taking over the creature, so he followed us around everywhere he could go. But one of their abilities was to be able to bamf into the abyssal worlds. I don't remember how we did it because
I'm sorry,
didn't
guys.
play with it.
Animals are being butt heads again right now. So we're going to take another early break while you guys are discussing or reviewing scroll options.
Okay.
Basically, not that this is a specific price. We'll go through bartering, but basically figure about 2,000 gold per level.
Per level or per
I'm sorry. No,
scroll?
that's off. That's off. 2,000 gold per level minus 3,000. Okay, I'll be back. And like I said, that's just a rough range.
I have in my inventory a scroll, a Ray of Enfeeblement, which I don't know if that's worth anything, or if I could trade that in on the purchase of something else. But I'm not super interested in using the Ray of Enfeeblement. Its utility is not as good as some of the other possible things. Plus, these could be really expensive, and so yeah, so he's saying 2,000 per level. That control water is level 4, so that's 8,000 minus 3,000 is $5,000 for
something that's possibly one use. Yeah.
Yeah. When I level up, I think I have the option to choose some other spells anyways, so that's just seems that's like a lot.
Well, you got to look at it this way. You're going to remember, like, for a non-spell caster to be able to cast a spell when you just roll, that probably won't cost that much for spellcasters. Probably not as bad.
Yeah, Speak with the Dead. That's a level 3, so that would be 3 times 2 is 6 minus that, so that would be 3,000. Still kind of expensive, but things like Speak with the Dead, Mass Healing Word, that one, I don't know if we have. That's a level 3. I could potentially cast that one. Up to 6 creatures of your choice that you can see within range regain hit points equal to 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier, which for me is +3 right now. So, so 1d4 plus 3, you'd at least get 4 points, up to 7. So that's kind of useful.
Just let you know, Speak with the Dead, only clerics and
Oh yeah, that's
warlock
right. That's
can
not
use
even a
it.
wizard spell. Yeah, that's true. And makes a difference.
What was the other spell you said you were eyeballing?
There we go. Phantom Steed, all right?
Yes, you can learn that. That's a wizard spell.
Yeah, but it still is going to be 3,000 gold, which we just spent a bunch on bracers, so I'm not seeing the control water for some reason in my mind that could be useful at some point. The speak with the dead could be useful at some point because it seems like we're dealing with a lot of undead, killing a lot of people. So that could be a way to get information.
Yes, I mean, hopefully, that is one thing our cleric should always have up his sleeve. Hopefully,
that's true. Yeah. So I'm not seeing anything that would really be like an, oh my gosh, I've got to have this kind of a thing, So yeah. So I'm willing to let it go right now. But, if you your the hit you took in the caves that did your intelligence, I would definitely be interested in helping to find you some help. Not thinking that I need any myself, although I would know because that book whacked me with, I don't even remember what it did to me, whether it was Constitution or something.
Oh, it was dirty. It was nasty. I don't remember what it was.
I think it was Constitution because my Constitution is at 9 now.
I have to ask Keith in retro too about these monocles. Anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
I want these goggles to be able to be separated, but I think what I want to do is have them be able to be separated, but also put back together again as a pair, so we could share them, but we could also link them back together to be used, because I forgot I have the sun sword which emits its own light. So there are times I may not need this, but times I may. So having that versatility might be a good thing.
For some reason, I got a mental image that the goggle's gonna have like a bra clip in the middle.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. A clip and latch, or a hook and latch type of.
Yeah, basically, that book hit my Constitution for 3 points.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Permanently?
Because my Constitution is 9 right now, and when I rolled my character up, it was 12. Because I kept screenshots of the stuff when I rolled it up. So yeah, everything else is the same, but yeah, my Constitution is down by 3.
Yeah, that hurts.
So yeah.
Wow, you are a squishy blade singer, aren't you?
Yeah, my con is -1, the modifier. So yeah, that's pretty much why the main reason he's been staying back, even though he's carrying the sword. And that, metagaming a bit, but that should be even more of I don't know if it's an alarming sign or more of a disconnect between him maintaining holding onto the sword and being afraid to get into combat, because I'm, that book screwed him up so bad. So yeah, it definitely makes the being a blade singer who can't get into any sort of a battle because he can't take a hit at all, is definitely an frustrating type character to play. That's for sure.
Did Keith said we need greater restoration, restoration to fix you both? I take it.
Yeah, I believe that was what he said.
Probably.
I just want to double check with him.
So maybe I don't know if that is what he was saying, is see if there's somebody else who can fix any of this stuff around the thing. Anybody who can destroy the book or whatever.
What kind of spell slot are we on at the moment? We are on Miles away, aren't we? Let's have a look at character sheets and when we get level 5 spells. When do we get level 5 spells? Do tell me.
For a full caster at level 9.
That if this kitty got 9 lives, then I might live to see getting that spell, I guess.
Say we're at 8 now or 7 now, right?
No, I think we're 6.
Oh, it's still 6. Jeez, and bro.
Yeah, we're 6.
Do you reckon
Yeah.
Keith will let us do a training montage?
I was lucky with that book because when I opened it, the number of constitution points I lost were 1d4 plus 1, so it could have been 5.
Oh, wow.
So I was lucky it was only 3, according to the way it reads. And I made the wisdom save, otherwise I would have suffered the insanity spell also. Or I must have made the wisdom save, I guess.
Man, if you don't pick up a feat to pick up a warlock spell at a later date where you can cast hex or curses or something, I'll be pretty shocked because you seem to be like a magnet for drawing curses and hexes onto yourself.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not afraid to include them.
Ah,
So yes,
Welcome
I'm
back.
back.
Okay.
Have we decided what acquisitions we might want to make?
Yeah, basically the cost benefit wasn't he's just gonna pass because we
All of them?
spent the money on the bracers, and with most of them being at least $3,000, I think he's gonna pass on that, especially since if there's somebody who will do some sort of a trade or pay to get any sort of healing, that's going to cost money too, and we want to see how much that might cost before we spend any more.
Now that's probably a good call, and chat log will keep track of this. So I'll be able to look back if we want to see what he's stored, and who knows, something might sell. You might acquire something else. Depends how long you guys are here. If you make it back here in between other mini adventures, there's still a lot to be seen. So I think we've spent enough time on shopping at this point. Are we agreed, or is there anything else that anyone wants to procure?
I did want to kind of go back. I know I already had the goggles made to monocles, so I'm going to go back to the blacksmith real quick and say, yeah, is there any way you can put a latch system on these so if we ever had to, we can turn them back into goggles instead of monocles?
Huh, that's an interesting idea. Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of goggles. Huh. It's a great idea. Obviously, it should not be too difficult to do in terms of game mechanics.
The reason I thought of it was because the Sun Sword puts off its own light, so I'm not going to need mine all the time. But if Eric and I get split, he's going to need them.
As it is, I'm still trying to think of a way that I can fully leverage the fact that it is split already. And then having to worry about the mechanics of switching one back and forth. Might as well just giving you both the set of goggles.
Right.
Well, you guys talk about that. I gotta go. I've got 2. I'll be right back. I gotta swap around. I've got 2 chickens on the smoker, and I've got to swap them around. So I'll be
Okay,
right
no
back.
problem.
okay.
But I do have to say with the monocles, at least I have something to play with in terms of the fact that your vision's going to be flat in the dark. You're not going to be able to tell distance very well.
Right, and depending on what
How
eye
to
we use
implement
them
that
in.
is going to be a little bit tricky.
Exactly. I've had the same thoughts, man. You know, if I have it in my right eye, I'm not necessarily going to be able to see something coming at me from the left.
Yeah, that too.
Not as well, anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
And it does give the opportunity to deprive at least one of you of that dark vision. But then why would you want to be able to? If it's just for the matter of draining you of a little gold, sure. Let's see.
Yeah, while they're all trying to get these goggles sorted, I'm just sitting outside the closed shop, just eyeballing the twines.
So needless to say, this is a little more tricky than cutting it in half and putting on something that you can grab onto with your eyebrow. That's going to cost about 200 gold to come up with that.
Okay.
Because he's going to need to fashion a fastener and attach it in some kind of locking mechanism on a very minute scale.
I am okay with that.
All right, then I will go ahead and take the money from your inventory.
I did.
You did? Okay.
If you can check, I don't know if there's logs you can check, but I forgot to take the 45 from earlier, so I did that first and then just took the 200.
Okay, cool. We're not overlapping then. I was just about to cover that. All right, so we should be good there then. Yeah, I definitely got to check out that marketing mod, Bane's Empire. All right, so Jim's off. Miz, you're still here, yes? Or are you still out?
No, it's clear.
Okay, you here? Okay, so we got you, Alex, and Dan. So what do you guys want to do now?
I know that Jim and I want to search out a cleric area where we could try to get some healing on our. You did
That
it. You had said at
3-point
one
hit
point,
I took to my constitution.
and the single point I took on my intelligence. So if you want to let other people do some stuff, though, we did kind of bogart the first half of the game.
No, that's okay. I don't mind.
Now, just so you know, there are 4 other people in the bar at the moment. Not counting the bartender and the waitress, who's also a halfling. Let's see. You already visited the ancient temple, which is more ruins than temple. All right. There does not appear to be any other divine or clerical structures or services within the Sand Voyager compound itself. And you understand what the Sand Voyager compound is when I say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being the walled area that you're currently within, that is in the southwestern part of the oasis.
So we need to go explore around the rest of the oasis.
You know, I just realized I haven't posted the time yet.
Well, if we know that injured people got here before us, right?
What do you mean?
Could some people manage to flee, right, or did they all get wiped out?
Oh, from the battles that you came across?
Yeah.
Remember, you came across the last survivor, or at least to that one battlefield that you're there. Now,
Oh, right. So no
Sheik
one.
apparently-
So okay.
the Sheik apparently has been engaged in some other, or has sent battalions, troops, squads, whatever you want to call it, to investigate or protect other areas, but they've you know, presumably some of them have made it back, others maybe not so fortunate. But you happen to come across the one that wasn't able to send back any word except through you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. I'll just going off old memory because I remember something about we noticed there were sledge marks in the sand and weren't sure if that was like survivors that was running away from like like normal people they just sent to get away while they held off the enemy. I weren't sure if it's something along those lines.
Good recollection, Miz. I'm actually going to give you an inspiration point for that. Because yes, there were tracks going in two different directions, one of them towards the oasis, but you still have yet to identify the destination or where they could have possibly, the other ones could have led to.
Okay.
All right. So do we want to wait for Jim to get back or do we know what we want to do?
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Okay.
We looking for a cleric, Jim?
Apparently you're not
I
gonna
think that
find one
makes.
you're not going to find one in this compound.
Well, I
Okay.
think we're looking around the oasis, right? We
Yeah,
can
just
go and
keep an
search
eye
around
open.
the oasis.
Well, we got to ask questions around here about the brothers too before we leave. Remember the whole.
You mean the Sheik's boys, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, so Varric, after kind of going backwards a little bit, after discussing the pricing of the bracers, and we finally get them. Brothers are standing there with the guy from the bracers and say, "What do you know about the relationship of the Sheik and his
let me
boys?"
give you a little more description that I haven't done yet, since we've just been hopping around vendor stalls. So after you've done your shopping spree, you head on over to the huge dome of whitewash brick, about 80 feet in diameter, that sits at the far east end of the compound. This is entered through an arch with heavy double doors at the building's west end. The main room, which you can see in the map, occupies one half of the dome and ends in a flat brick back wall. Set back against that wall is a large bar about 40 feet long. Two huge mirrors flank the door behind the bar, which apparently leads to the back room. Over the door is a golden plaque. Various wicker tables and chairs are placed here and there about the room. And you were greeted when you first came in by who you're guessing, I'm pretty sure is Happy Hogan, a friendly and talkative, oh no, wait, interesting. Oh, okay. All right, so you meet the bartender. He is a Dupari. Let's see. And yeah, this is evening. Okay, so there is a bartender. There is Happy Hogan, who kind of is watching from the side, but he's the one who actually comes up and greets you. He's a very talkative and engaging halfling, like most of them are. He seems rather proud of his desert igloo, and apparently has done rather well. He's well dressed, he's well mannered, but he conveys a sense of respect, that you basically get the sense that you shouldn't underestimate this halfling. The waitress is apparently his daughter. Her name is Rose. And I don't have the name of the bartender, but yeah, he basically he's not unkind, but he is curt to him in terms of get this, get that, whatever else. They do seem to have a good, friendly relationship as long as it's not business. In front of the customers, he seems to be very, very direct with his bartender. And then in addition to that, like I said, there are about 4 other patrons that are hanging out in the bar right now, or in the desert igloo. chit-chatting it up and enjoying a meal, and the food is actually quite good. There's plenty of people ordering preserved foods, salted meats, dried meats, fruits, and stuff like that. But there's a table or two where people have splurged a bit, and there seems to be fresh roasted pig available. And another table has lamb shanks sitting out. And so, the smells are carrying over, and it smells really, really good. And you also pick up the smell of fresh baked bread. And I would believe also at least one of you will smell the waft of strong spirits in the air.
Okay.
Hmm. So why don't I ask Hogan if he's greeting us? So we've done all our shopping first. How busy is it?
6 other patrons in the place at the moment.
So he would have noticed us spending a good amount of money
Well, no.
in the
You
area.
were spending in the market stalls, which is separate than the Desert Igloo,
Prior
where
to
you're
the dome.
where you're meeting up and enjoying beverage and refreshment and food. So he's not necessarily affiliated with it, but he does apparently have some affiliation with the Sand Voyagers, even though he's a Derpari.
And is he important enough to catch word of big spenders in the market?
You would suspect so, but word would have to travel awful fast to get from one stall into the building by then, unless he was, actively monitoring it like some kind of pit boss.
Sure. I guess I will do.
I mean, I would say it's probably not to be unexpected if you were to come back tomorrow that he would probably have heard wind of something. But I mean, you went shopping in the market at end of day. He's been busy tending to dinner in the tavern. I doubt the merchants have even come over to say anything to him, but probably tonight they'll probably show up and chit-chat it up with him. So I might expect a response to your spending spree tomorrow, but now would be a bit early.
All right, fair. So I guess we will approach him and strike up conversation. Small talk about how well organized and run the Sand Voyagers area is, the niceness of his dome, his clean establishment. Looks like it's well kept and run. Little flattery. Small talk to engage conversation.
Always worthwhile. Let's see. Don't need that. Where is? And that's what I need.
Rolling dice.
Isram, what form are you in at the moment? Are you hanging out in cat form?
You're also off your bike, Keith.
Oh, that better?
Much.
Yep.
Much better.
It's amazing how much an inch or two can really make a difference. Got to practically stick the thing down my throat for it to work properly. All right, so Ms., you there?
Yes.
What form are you in?
I am in cat form.
You are in cat form. Okay.
So that panther, by the way.
So that begs the question, how are you behaving? Are you cruising around the tavern, playing on your stealth? Are you lying at someone's side? Are you waiting outside for someone to toss you some scraps? Are you making it that you're a humanoid in cat form, or are you trying to blend in as much as possible?
I am sticking close to Kaoli, so that way, because she looks like an outdoor girl, it looked like she would have a cat like me.
That makes sense. I see the logic there. Okay, and Kayla Lee, what's your focus? Food, observation, planning, plain exhausted and just want to catch some Z's? What exactly is motivation at the moment?
Food and observation. And of course, staying as unnoticed as possible.
Kind of hard with a cat at your side. Excuse me, kind of
Yeah,
hard
the
with
cat
a large
gets a few-
cat at your side.
The cat gets a few dirty looks over the course of the evening.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
In that, could I still walk around with the boots of Elvikin on my paws and just doing that weird walk as I follow you out?
No, because you won't go away. You're attracting attention.
All right. So as you're sitting there enjoying a meal, enjoying the relative coolness of the desert igloo, apparently the whitewashed brick does seem to have a natural cooling effect inside there. It's shaded, but not necessarily dark. It's not bright either, but you're not looking at dark corners. So it's a nice respite from the constant desert heat that you've been having to deal with. And there's a bit of activity in there. As you go through the night, more patrons show up, and there's definitely lots of conversation. Most of you, actually probably all of you, pick up at least one group of people or another talking about recent events in terms of the legends are they're all sharing stories about the legends that they've heard of the demon who's supposed to be released by the old gods, and it crosses over into discussions about the old gods versus the new gods and whether or not the Dupari have it right with their single god, or if he's come back because the dervish old gods have been ignored. So there's plenty of talk about
Light
that
mustard.
that's dominating throughout the room.
Any conversation mentioning the brothers' names? I can't remember the other brother. Hassan was one of them, right?
Oh, the two boys, the
Yeah.
sons of the sheik, right?
Yeah.
You do not pick up anything, but let's see. Let me make sure I get them right again, because like I said, I constantly get them confused. All right, so Qasim is the dad.
I keep
Qasim
forgetting to
Arslan.
utilize this notes.
Hassan Arslan is his firstborn son. And Chorus, not quite sure why he has a different last name. Chorus Ikoth is the second-born son. And no, you do not hear any discussions about that. Let's see. Redreth, you do pick up on one conversation
I thought you were leaving.
where apparently they're talking about you. Not that they know it, but someone is actually talking about the river being restored to the desert. I was like, did you hear? Someone destroyed the curse of Amun Ra. Athos is returning. It should be here any day now. And of course, most people are in disbelief and just kind of passing them off. And yeah, we'll see it when it gets here. At least someone's referring.
One more time, Keith, on the other son.
Chorus Ikoth.
Hassan is the chorus was the extra name, though.
Okay, so one more time. Let me type them in. Make it easier. That should make it clear and make sure it gets into the company log.
Now, are these twins, or are they just an elder son and a younger son?
They are twins born only minutes apart,
Right.
but I believe they are fraternal twins. I don't think they are identical.
Okay.
Nope. Hassan is the identical twin of Chorus Ikoth. So yes, they are identical.
Okay.
So, and again, there is no conversation you hear about any of them. But so you're listening to the conversations, you're enjoying the food. Mizram's kind of kicking it on the floor, just listening to what's going on above, paying attention. I'm guessing someone's throwing him down a shank of lamb or something for him to gnaw on. But he picks up on something and stop me if you don't do this, but he paws over at Elohir, and is presuming Elohir looks down, he kind of nods over in the direction of another conversation that he's picking up on.
Okay.
And as you get attention or start listening in on a conversation, you hear a pair of merchants discussing amongst each other in very hushed voices. And it actually was the hush that Mizram picked up on rather than necessarily the content initially. But they are discussing how the Sand Voyagers were an honest guild who make it possible across the desert in safety. But they were also talking about other caravans of slavers who have been traveling by night and will not allow any strangers to come near them. And apparently they've been creating some competition for the Sand Voyagers recently in not the best ways. And are you going to kick it here for the until you're ready to go to bed, or you're going to take care of something else? Because it is almost 10 o'clock at night. And you have been
After I've
traveling at night, so you are not used to being awake, but the Oasis definitely functions more during the day.
After smoozing Hogan, I do want to mention the brothers,
Okay.
and see what he knows as far as if they have a rivalry, if they know if there's any underlying thing that the Sheik wouldn't pick up on.
All right, so you have a bit of a conversation with Happy. You want the long and short of it, or you want to try to role play it out?
Long and short.
All right, so there's really not too much to learn from him. He does know the two brothers. He does point out that Chorus is a regular here. He usually shows up here every night, quite dependably, though he's not here at the time you're having this conversation. And the only other thing of note that you find interesting that you hadn't already known that Hogan seems to, I don't want to say dwell on, but make a point of, is that apparently Hassan is a very good sand sled pilot.
Was Chorus there the night around the time the bride disappeared?
Well, time is a very hard thing to measure in that regard. So to say that he wasn't there at the time that she actually disappeared, no one knows exactly when she disappeared, and no one can say exactly when Chorus was actually in the bar. But Happy does say, yeah, he did seem to arrive a bit late that evening.
Okay.
And I guess at this point, you also find out that her name is the Princess Shadala.
Princess Shadala. You get a spelling of that?
Yeah.
How loose-lipped does the bartender seem?
Not very.
Okay.
And one other thing he does point out about when referring to Princess Shadala, is that she has the mark on her hand. And the mark apparently is a very intricate, kind of looks like a tattoo, except that they have it at birth. And should something happen to the brides, according to legends past and recent history, the mark disappears and will reappear immediately on another newborn. So there's obviously some kind of mystical significance to it. It's not just a random natural thing that people have attributed a false significance to.
Does it always appear on females, or does it
only
appear on?
only on the female, and it has always been considered by the members of this tribe to be a mystical selector of the bride of the eldest son.
Okay.
After she passes on, another girl will be born with the sign, and that will become the next bride of their children.
To Happy, has there been any whispers of the mark appearing on any newborns within the Oasis?
Yeah, that he does seem quite confident of. Is like, yeah, the talk has been is that Shadala has to be alive because the mark has not been seen anywhere else yet. Oh,
Very
and
good.
apparently there's also, oh, okay, yeah, that's right. I'm making a slight error. In between marriage and the selection of the next bride, the mark goes to an altar that they have. And so
Okay.
so yeah, the mark has not reappeared at the altar. So as a result, it has to still be on a live bride to be.
Shadala.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That's all I got for here.
So definitely some good information. And I think at this point you can get a sense that there is a lot going on here. And true to form, presuming you guys are not heading out too soon, eventually you do see Chorus come into the bar, step up to the bartender. He doesn't seem to say much to the bartender. He just kind of nods at him. I don't want to, it's subtle, but it wasn't clandestine, if you know what I mean. And that's all he seemed to need in order to get a drink served to him. And then he proceeded to a back corner of the bar and sat down and started enjoying his beverage. He did not seem to notice or acknowledge you.
Varric's going to sit 2 seats down from him.
So
and
he's going to
just,
get up and then go over to a closer table to him.
yeah, within earshot or within the ability to strike up a conversation if need be, but distant enough not to be right up in his face.
Gotcha.
And order a drink.
All right, so he finds a place not too far off. He presumes he would be within hearing range, but he arrived without any companion, so he's not exactly talking. He didn't talk to the bartender, as I pointed out, so you're not sure, just how loud he's going to be. But for most people, you would presume you're in earshot of him. But there's still a table between. You said Varric was going?
Yeah, Varric.
Okay, so yeah,
Haig's going to hang with Redreth in case we find a clerk otherwise.
well, certainly there is a lot of talk of religion going on because of the debate about the evil demons showing up and being punishment for sacrificing the old gods, as opposed to worshiping Anu the One.
All right. Well, I'm going to give them the signal that they can go if they want. I'll kind of see if I can work Chorus for any info.
Actually, one other point that probably should be noted, maybe. Let's double check something. Yeah, perfect. This one shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, geez. The heck, guys? How does The die rolls in this just tell a strange tale sometimes. You know that? Every single one of you rolled single digits except for guess who?
Hey,
Jen.
Elohir?
With a 30. And Nizram's the only one who managed to get into double digits with his bonus.
Meow.
Meow. So with that being said, the two of you, and only the two of you, make the connection and have to kind of spell it out for the rest of the party. But based on what Hogan has told you and what you're hearing from the rest of the patrons, especially engaged in this religious debate that's going on, they keep referring to where is he? To Nadron. Ring any bells for anyone?
I feel like we should know what that's referring to, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure Kaeli would remember, but Alex does not.
He was the cleric that you met that was very curt and only helped you out because the sheik ordered it, but he seemed very put off or burdened by having to address the prophesized ones or having to accommodate you. Do you remember this?
Okay.
Vaguely, yeah.
But it occurs to you that apparently this guy's been around for a while. He seems to know a lot about what's going on in the camp, has his fingers involved in a lot of things, and just might be a high enough level to help you guys out. And if you recall, the cleric's tent is located right next to the sheik's tent.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Back in the compound surrounded by the red and green ribbons, where apparently Caleb
Yeah.
is still hanging out.
Right.
Oh, well, that's just where Kaeli's token is hanging out to mark which tent is ours.
So I think with
Hey,
that,
Lily's hanging out in the tent trying to get her internet working.
you know, Wi-Fi in the desert's such a bitch.
Yes. Starlink hasn't made it there yet.
No, not quite. So with that being said, I think you've gotten about all the information you're going to get out of this location, unless you're planning on camping out here for a few days and waiting for every little tidbit to trickle in.
I'm still gonna hang out with Chorus. Like my idea was to let the rest of the group move on and come back to maybe a conversation with Chorus later.
Well, as you sit there, he doesn't seem to be meeting up with anyone. No one comes to see him. He stays in his little dark corner. Your guess is he's probably getting himself at least a little bit inebriated. He's, you know, he seems to be. He has a couple of drinks. He doesn't get boisterous or belligerent or anything like that. He's not sloshing his ale all over the patrons or whatnot. But paying attention to him, you notice he's, you know, as he's drinking more, he's not quite hitting his mouth quite as often. He seems to be getting lost in thought here and there. But for the most part, he seems to just be trying to relax and enjoying, yeah, you would guess, enjoying time away from royal responsibilities. Though
So
you would
after
presume
his-
he has a lot fewer than his brother.
So as I allow a little bit of alcohol to work into his system, I just look at him and nod and say, "What do you think of all this?" Because obviously the conversation is based around the Dupari and the Verendi or Dervish. Verendi dervishes, right?
Rorendi dervishes and Dupari local, no, not locals. They came in from the north. So yeah, the Dupari are the ones in charge. The Rorendi dervishes are the remnants of the old society. So specifically about the return of the what they're referring to as the demon and who you know as Kalatarius.
Yeah.
So his first response is he looks at you quizzically and is like, "Excuse me, do I know you?"
Nah, I'm not from around here. I I hear them talking, but I barely know any details about it. It's kind of why I'm curious. Oh,
Are you the ones who brought the medallion from the battlefield down south?
yeah, I'm here with my friends. Kind of. I've dropped out of the game. I accidentally barely touched the PC button on my keyboard and powered everything down. Let's see
Oh,
if it's
well,
Oh, lovely.
interesting.
well, at least you're still in Discord. We should have time for you to get back in. So, Chorus looks over
Oh,
at the
just-
party, and then
I was
sees-
the party still there. I was kind of giving them, like I said, I kind of gave them the go ahead. I
Oh,
don't want to
good
intimidate
point.
him.
So is everyone else left, or are you waiting around?
What time? You said this is like 10 o'clock at night or thereabouts?
Right, but that being said, you guys have been traveling at night, so this is still kind of like early in the day for you.
Yeah, but the rest of the
Rest of the compounds.
we've also been up all day, right?
I think we did stay up. I think at this point we're tired.
No, you
Yeah,
arrived.
so-
No, you arrived late in the afternoon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Arrived late in the afternoon. Okay.
No,
So
wait
that
a
means
minute.
we had been traveling
No,
during
yeah,
the
I got to hold on. Let me
day.
double check that. Where's the calendar? There's a calendar.
Because I have a feeling Redrith would probably be.
Oh yeah, you had the
feeling-
audience. Yeah, you had the audience with the Sheik at 7:30 this morning, and you rested until 3:45 this afternoon. At 4:30, you went to speak with Nadron, where he told you about the brothers, the nature of the palm mark, the missing Sand Voyager Guildmaster, that he suspected the Dervish cultists. And then it was 5:45 that you came into the compound. So yeah, you guys rested until only about 5-6 hours ago.
Okay.
So nobody mentioned anything about the missing Sand Voyagers.
No, that doesn't seem
Guildmaster?
to be a high topic of conversation. That seems to be on the hush. But so we can continue with
Okay.
this one. Is the rest of the party around?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the rest of the party around, or at least a couple of you, Chorus looks over at you and then looks back at Varric and recognizes you or realizes that you must be the ones that his father's told him about. And says, "Ah, yes, you must be the ones that my father has hired to help him find Princess Shadala." Are you acknowledging or confirming it?
I'll say it's a possibility that we'll be able to help.
Redrith is
I know
pretending
that
to be
my-
drinking but still listening.
So he looks at you and is like, "I know that my father is very hopeful that you will be able to help him. For his sake and that of my brother, I most certainly do agree."
I didn't fully hear that.
My father has been most hopeful that you will be able to assist him. For his sake and that of my brother, I certainly do agree. Is there something that I can help you with? I am coming
Um,
through, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Mhm.
trying to. I'm trying to gauge the conversation because he totally. I'm thrown off now. The whole idea of how I would get this to run is kind
Were
of
you
changing
expecting him
course.
to be
So I'm trying
nasty
to
and
roll with it.
belligerent?
Um,
Were you expecting him to be nasty and belligerent?
no. I was gonna create small talk and try to get,
But apparently he's already been alerted to who you are.
yeah,
He knows-
exactly.
And he
So
knows most of the people in the area. So if you're newcomers, you're either merchants or them, and you don't look like merchants.
right.
Now, had the party
I'm
not
not-
been there, you might have been able to get away with it a little bit more.
So originally I asked him the question to try to get a little bit more insight into.
Oh, yes, about what he thought. Well, the prophecy.
Right. He totally he totally ignored what I said. So
Well,
I'm
no,
kind
he
of like,
wanted to make sure he knew who he was talking to. So he obviously had a concern about, not just sharing information with anyone. And actually the conversation will kind of reveal that, he doesn't share information with just anyone, but his father has told him to assist the newcomers with anything that might be helpful to you. And he at least seems to be genuinely concerned in Shadala's well-being, and seems sincere that you want to help her or help the family. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. Wife needed me for a second. Okay, yeah. So it does become clear to you through the conversation that he apparently is not someone that just goes around sharing information, and he probably would not want to be dealing with you at all, for that matter. He's not rude about it, but you definitely get the sense that you're imposing on his personal time. This is time he comes to get away from all of his quote unquote royal responsibilities, not have to deal with the family politics. And at least one of you definitely get the sense that it bothers him that he's second born, that just by quirk of luck that his brother should have been born before him. So I'm not going to say necessarily he's resentful, but it's definitely something that it seems to, and again, not dominate his thoughts, but be on his mind. So you get the feeling that he is willing to share with you somewhat reluctantly. And he acknowledges this is something that was previously ordained by prophecy. He believes it was going to happen either way. He doesn't think it had anything to do with, the Dupari or the dervishes, whether or not they're worshiping one or multiple gods. And he doesn't think that this has anything to do with anything divine beyond the demonic nature of this particular creature. He decided that the desert was a treasure trove to be stripped bare for his pleasure. Martek came along and kept him at bay for 1,000 years, but now we have to deal with it again. He doesn't seem to have any more information about the legend than you guys already did, but he does seem to be somewhat more aware of the legend and the truth of Martek than most other people that you've encountered.
that's what I was going to start with getting at, is information. I was going to open conversation with him about what's being talked out about at the bar. And even if he realized who I was, say, obviously, if you know who I am, I don't understand the battle between the two religions. I don't understand why they are so in depth in hate with each other, and see where he went from there. And obviously in his description, he's going to give me a little bit more insight about himself.
Well, on one side, you get the impression from him that he is obviously devout to the Dupari. He does worship Anu, and does believe Anu is the one true God. That being said, he seems to be very practical and empathetic to a culture that has been subjugated, minimized, dismissed. He understands that they had different beliefs. He may not agree with them. He doesn't despise them for it. He does feel that they are lesser people because they can't embrace what he considers to be the truth. But I wouldn't necessarily consider him racist, certainly not in our world terms. But he does obviously hold them of a lower regard. But he, at the same time, he does seem to have some kind of respect for them. So it's kind of a weird catch-22 that you're picking up from him.
But I wouldn't pick up that he's a sympathizer or would necessarily work with them behind the backs of the sheik, or that's the vibe I'm going for.
Gotcha.
Would he stab people in the back?
Your gut tells you not to rule it out.
Okay.
Is that a good response?
Yep.
Because you get the feeling that he's a loyal, devout son. He obviously harbors some degree of empathy for the dervishes. You would say on initial or superficial review that, you know what, this does seem like a loyal son, but there's that resentment issue about being the second born son, and you're just not sure how deep that sits.
Okay. That's what I was looking for. I try to see, can I pick up? Let me see.
I guess that the best way to summarize it is that you have nothing clear cut that says that, yeah, he did it, and not even a strong reason to suspect him. But if he is capable, and if he does harbor a resentment to the point that he is willing to do something about it, he could just be putting on a good show. He seems capable of that.
Okay. All right. Well, I got to get, these guys are waiting for me. And I'll give enough coin.
He does offer his services again and says if there's any other information I can provide, please seek me out. And he actually says, come here to the bar to find me. I'm usually here every evening.
All right. Sounds good. And I'll leave enough money for my drink and put another coin, whatever they cost, to the side, and note to the bartender, kind of give him the head nod towards him that I'll buy him another drink.
And are you leaving right after you end your conversation with him?
I'm joining the group, I guess, and we'll see what the group does.
Okay. So then the question to the group after Barak is done having his conversation, are you anxious to retire or go elsewhere? Or are you just going to kind of, again, you're not necessarily tired. You've only been up for about 6 hours.
Haig's antsy to get to that cleric, back to that cleric.
Yeah,
If he's
I was
going
to say that's where Redreth's mind is turning to, is more not obviously not about the sword. He's not thinking twice about the sword, but the book.
Brain bleed.
Getting the book taken care of to fix his con or whatever it'll do.
No, that's absolutely understandable. However, it doesn't take an insight roll for you to realize that now is not the best time of day to go approach him, especially given the way he treated you earlier.
Then
you wouldn't want to wait until the next day and go during daylight hours to talk to Nadron. Like I said, you can go if you want to, but in everyone's insight, sans a one roll is going to realize that clerical services are not going to be available at this hour.
And I'm going to do my best bratty girl arms crossed and leg stomp. Don't care how, I want it now.
So I think if going and talking to the cleric is not an option right now, then Redreth, because he does have that scroll that he has never copied into his wizard scroll book, he will probably go and start work on that, go back to the room and just settle in and just start
no hotels here, you just have a tent, but it is a nice
tent. And just settle in and start copying that into his scroll book so that it could be in a spell he could prepare.
That seems reasonable.
Because it's a level 2 necromancy spell.
Which spell is that?
So, Ray of Enfeeblement.
Ah, yes. Okay, I remember it now.
So not a great one, honestly. If talking to the guy who was selling the scrolls, if he could trade that in, to knock the cost off of something else, that would probably even be desirable. But considering everything still is expensive enough that it's just not worth spending the money on it right now, he'll just go and just work on copying it, and it might be useful at some point.
Well, you could also send in Varric and see if he gets a better response. But yeah, that price was basically based on your lousy charisma.
Yeah. Yep. So that's what
Come
Red
in
Red's
and
plan is to.
come in and you're the kind of person that, you know, a shop owner would like be like, yeah, I just want him out of here quickly. At least until he knows you have
Redreth
money.
is a
At least until
male
he knows you have
Karen.
money to spend.
He's a Karen.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be inaccurate. But yeah, I would say in general, he probably would be willing to barter. But more than likely, Varric will get more out of him than you will.
No, I
just have to
think
give him a shot
just about almost everybody in the party will.
No, actually, they don't. You don't realize that. You have like the third highest charisma. Actually,
Which
you do
is
have the third
sad.
highest charisma. No,
Which
fourth,
is sad.
sorry. Yeah, there are two people with lower charisma than you.
We might as well be a group of trolls.
Yeah, thank goodness for the Goliath Paladin, which is just an anomaly in itself anyway. All right, so it seems to me that there's really not too much to do for any of you until morning. You're going to go study. Check something quick. I think all XP has been awarded, but honestly, there should be some XP awarded for today. But there's no way that's going to be enough to get you guys to next level. So I will figure that out. Yep, everything's been awarded. All right, so we're going to move through until morning. One thing I will point out also, presuming that some of you hang out to enjoy some grog throughout the evening, Chorus does take off at a certain point, and when he leaves, he seems to be in a bit of a rush. So after hanging out there for a few hours, all of a sudden he seems to have something to do right around the stroke of midnight.
How many of us noticed this?
That is a valid question.
Could we roll like perception or something?
Those group rolls are usually one I do, but go ahead, since you guys haven't had a chance to do much rolling. Go ahead, each one of you do a perception roll.
And I'm an idiot and
Yep.
closed.
I meant to do that in the tower, but I forgot.
I just double clicked it, so it did it.
And Varric's, I closed Varric's screen, and he's not available in the characters. So if you want to
I
do
don't think
that
it's
one.
going to matter too much in this case. And we'll say that he did pass anyway. All right, so Redreth doesn't really notice it, but I think everyone else does.
Can I whisper? Can I say to the group, send kitty kitty?
Hey, Ken.
Being
yes.
midnight, being midnight and a Black Panther would probably be a good choice for a, well, dexterity aside, being a Black Panther would probably be a good choice.
Yeah, but since Haig is among those who notices, then yes, you can kind of nudge Mizram and suggest it or nod it. And it's up to Mizram whether or not he's
Sorry, I'm trying not to fall asleep because I didn't get enough sleep last night. What did we notice?
Chorus around midnight is leaving in a hurry.
not a hard
Oh,
hurry, but
I'll
he seems
follow
to
him.
be a bit rushed. Like he
I'll
has
follow him.
somewhere to be. Oh, you want to follow him?
I mean, the cat can follow him too, but I will follow him.
Meow.
With those two following, Redreth will not. He's like I said, he's going to go back to his place and or he will already be back at his tent.
And we are big clunky Goliaths, so
transcribing.
probably not a good choice.
Right.
All right. So as Kelly and Mizram start heading out, to follow chorus. You're pretty sure he doesn't
Mhm.
notice either of you as you're leaving. However, as you both head out, Kayla Lee, you pick up on the fact that A, you are upwind from chorus, which
Mhm.
probably wouldn't make much of a difference for most human targets. But you also happen
Mhm.
to notice that Mizram smells pretty bad at the moment. Like the smell of cat and cat urine is really overpowering.
Kitty needs a bath,
Yes.
a proper bath with
Yeah.
soap and water.
So you feel the need to suggest to Mizram that maybe you should stick behind because I'm even noticing you. This translates as Mizram rolled a 1 on his stealth.
What? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you did.
Even
Was that with advantage for the boots?
No, you're fine. Mizram rolled a 1.
Doesn't he have boots of Elvenkind too?
Yes.
Oh, he didn't code it.
Doesn't that?
All right, roll it. Roll one more time so we can drop that roll. Ah, much better. That's a 27. Okay, you both are actually, not that you would know it for sure, though. Yes, Kaylee Lee would notice
Okay.
you were fumbling, but in this case, you both believe you are being stealthy.
I just look at her with my big cat eyes and go, honestly, it wasn't me you were smelling.
That was such a perfect RP explanation, and you had to go blow it by not coding your bonus. Smack to the cat. Move on. I thought that was so perfect for him, but anyway.
I was trying to figure out what you were getting at. Sorry. Beat me with the stupid stick.
Now, I think you guys know me enough by now to that I do my best to try to provide a game-related experience or explanation for anything that comes up in the dice. But the RNG gods make that rather difficult at times. Though I do have to say, when it comes to your perception and insight rolls, it's really weird how much the dice seem to know what your character abilities are. I mean, it's not just, the bonuses that make it different. Those of you with low charisma constantly get low charisma rolls. Those of you with high dexterity constantly just avoid the insane. It's like, what the hell? But hey, that's what the game is. It works. And that means the gods actually, agree with the direction that we're going. More power to us. All right, so the two of you follow Chorus out the compound. He heads out through the west gateway. He doesn't seem to be paying much attention running through the compound, but as soon as he gets out of the compound, he does seem to be a lot more aware and looking around him to see who might be looking at him before he makes a sharp turn to the northeast and heads into the flurry of trees that are there, and for the most part would disappear into the trees, but you're watching him, so you can kind of keep track of him, though it is dark. And Kayla Lee, you have a bit of a hard time tracking him, but Mizram in cat form is able to keep an eye on him, mostly because you can see his legs through the brush at his lower level.
Okay.
You both realize that following him into the brush is going to seriously reduce your stealth. You're not going to be able to travel into that brush as quietly as you currently are now. Do you proceed?
It sounds like Mizram is making his thoughts known.
Yes, absolutely. Mizram, Kayla, do you proceed, or are you just going to watch him disappear into the thicket?
I'm gonna follow him anyway.
Okay, please both make another stealth check.
Come on, cooperate here. I said cooperate, you.
You still don't have it coded for advantage on stealth rolls. So roll once more, Miz, for now. Miz? There we go. Okay. So Miz doesn't hear Kaylee. Kaylee doesn't hear Miz. You believe you're doing a good job. You go into the thicket. You follow him through into it. And he heads about another 300 feet to the northeast, where there is an obelisk, which I believe some of you had noticed earlier.
It almost makes the thicket and the obelisk look like a tree from the 100-acre wood. That's all I thought about it.
Okay, let's
So,
hold on,
one
hold on,
side.
hold on.
Okay.
So I'll read the description to you and then we can proceed. Okay. In the center of several screening palm trees, the 25-foot tall by 7-foot square monolith towers up from the sands. The writings on its surface, in the old alphabet, are nearly obscured by time and weather. Chorus approaches it, goes around to the back side, and as you follow him around to see where he goes, he's no longer there.
Interesting.
And then with that, kind of good timing. There we go. All right. And so now you're going to go to ancient inscriptions, and you will see the inscription that is on the monolith. With that, we are now 3 minutes short of 11 o'clock my time. And I think this is probably a good point for us to call it for the week.
I still need the bracers of defense added to the party sheet for my guy since Dan paid the gold for him.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm going to do that right now. There you go. Unidentified or identified. Now, I should point out, this one's not as clear as most of the others. You're going to have to spend a little time kind of dusting it off and extracting it. So if you're not willing to spend that time, do not try to translate it yet. All right. Any last questions before we call it a session?
Oh, my mic's down. No, I think I'm good.
And I presume Alex is going to want to work on this and post this. So are we all agreed you're going to hang around to decipher the runes on the obelisk?
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, that'll probably take you about a half hour, maybe an hour. So it's going to be close to about 1 a.m. by the time you're done. Alex, whenever you're ready, and whoever else wants to work on it with her or separately, just feel free to post your translation in there, and you'll have it for next time. But we'll be ready for session 37, and we'll see what you guys want to do from there.
Sounds good.
Hope you guys all had fun this morning. Definitely using Fantasy Grounds a lot less for the role-playing stuff, but as you know, this module is not all role-playing. Just this chapter is very heavy on the RP.
The bracers don't appear to have a coded in thing to add to the AC. So is it okay if I just modify the Cloak of Protection one to say AC3 instead of AC1?
No, because unfortunately, if something happens to one, then it won't necessarily affect the stats correctly. Alex, maybe could you be willing to give him help?
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, I can probably just drag. I can just drag this one off and.
Or wait a minute, is there?
There, I did it. Don't worry about it. I just added a thing. Never mind.
I was going to say maybe Rob Tui has something in one of the modules.
Yep.
I
it's
was
in
looking.
the Rob Tui Wondrous Items.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find that then.
Yeah, I can find it. I looked in pretty much everything
know if I
but the
have
Wondrous Items one.
Yeah, I don't know if I have.
Well, I mean, that's what they are. They're a wondrous item.
Yes, they are. But I don't think I got that package from Rob Tui. Let's see.
Yeah, I have it in there.
Trades.
I already added it, so okay.
Okay, cool. My apologies. Would be helpful if I had that stuff ready. All right, are we good?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now, and we'll be back for session 37 in about 2 weeks' time. Hope you're all enjoying.